Hey there, my friends, it's Brad, the Bearded Piper, and I want to wish you all a very happy Groundhog Day 2023. Now, you all know that I live in southwestern Pennsylvania, but what you might not know is I'm just a little under 2 hours away from Punxsutawney. And some of you are like, oh, dude, that is really cool. And some of you are like, dude, what's a Punxsutawney? Punxsutawney is a small town in southwestern Pennsylvania. It could be teetering on being in central Pennsylvania, actually. That is the home of Groundhog Day. If you don't know what Groundhog Day is, let me tell you. Groundhog Day is a tradition that goes back thousands of years. The Celts actually had a version of Groundhog Day, and the Germans had a version of Groundhog Day, and then the Pennsylvania Dutch, which descended from Germans, they had a version of Groundhog Day, which has transformed into what Groundhog Day is today. Now, Punxsutawney is the home of Punxsutawney Phil, and Punxsutawney Phil is arguably the original groundhog of Groundhog Day in southwestern Pennsylvania. He's hundreds of years old. We all know that that's just a part of the myth. But Punxsutawney Phil lives in the library in Punxsutawney, and every February 2nd, they take Phil out to his stump in Gobbler's Knob, and literally thousands of people gather to watch the Groundhog Day festivities. The Punxsutawney Groundhog Club dresses in tuxedos and top hats, and they pull Phil from his stump, and Phil sees his shadow. That means there's going to be 6 more weeks of winter, and if he doesn't see his shadow, that means there will be an early spring. They pull Phil from his stump, they hold him up, everyone cheers, and then Phil goes over and he picks a scroll, one of 2 scrolls, and the president of the Punxsutawney Groundhog Club reads the scroll, and this year Phil saw his shadow, which he's done over 100 times through the years, and that means there's going to be 6 more weeks of winter. I think historically he has been correct a little over half the time, but it is just a really fun tradition. It is something that I have actually loved since I was a young child, like 6, 7 years old. They broadcast it on the Pittsburgh News, although this year we haven't had regular TV. We have some streaming services. But Paramount has the live streaming of KDKA, which is Pittsburgh's CBS station, and it was a national show, so I watched the Groundhog Day festivities on KDKA's website, and believe it or not, I live so close, and it's always been such a big thing for me. I've always loved it. In fact, in high school, my teachers used to ask me how many more days are there till Groundhog Day, because I always knew, because it's just so fun for me. It's the holiday that really means nothing, but so many people get so much enjoyment from it, and that's what a holiday should be. It should be about fun and enjoyment. So it's a thing that I enjoy. But I've never been there. I keep saying every year that I'm going to go, and every year I don't go. Now, my nephew, he turned 14 today. It's his birthday. He was born on February 2nd, and he's really excited because now he is old enough to be a junior firefighter in the fire department that my sister-in-law volunteers for. So they had a birthday party for him over the weekend, and he had all his fire gear and stuff like that. He's really excited. But one of these days, I'm going to take Sean, and he and I are going to go to Groundhog Day. Although I think he's been there. I think my in-laws have taken him there, his grandmother and grandfather. But Groundhog Day excitement aside, today is the day that we pull the winner of my 500 subscribers. That's so hard for me to say. I don't know why lately I'm having a problem saying subscribers, but my 500 subscribers giveaway. And actually, I think I'm up to 614. The Briar Report mentioned my giveaway, and they also mentioned my top 10 list, and like it just boomed. I gained over like 100 and some subscribers just in a few weeks, and I appreciate you all. I really do. I love the fact that we all can come together. I can do a video, and we can converse down below in the comments. A lot of you have followed me on Instagram, and we have some conversations on Instagram, and I really, really appreciate that. And I've actually got to meet a few of you at the Columbus Pipe Show, and Noah from At Noah's House actually lives nearby, and we had lunch together, so that was pretty cool. So what is the giveaway? The giveaway is, and I don't have it out here, I forgot to bring it out to the garage, it is a beautiful Doran pipe made by Brian Doran, who we all know and love in the YTPC as Beans 316, a tin of Father Dempsey, 2 ounces of Winchester, and 2 ounces of Epiphany, which it's one of Winchester's one of my favorite Virginias, and Epiphany is one of my favorites. It's technically, I guess, a mild aromatic, but it's also what Einstein. It's the match of Revelation, which was Einstein's blend. So there were, and again, I'm not as prepared as I wanted to be. I was packing stuff up, and I got a phone call, and I needed to take care of this, I need to take care of that. I came out, and I forgot my little notes that I wrote down. There are just a little over 145 entries into the giveaway. I think there were 65 people that had entered. Almost all of the lurkers, and I hate that term lurkers, but almost all of the folks that did not do a VR followed the other 4 channels and got their bonus entry. There were a couple folks that just said that recommended a book for me or something like that, so they didn't mention that they subscribed to the other 4 channels, so they only got 1 entry. I mean, I said the rules are really important. There were 19 VRs, which was fantastic, and I think it's 140 some, and it's more than that actually. I think it is 140 some books, TV shows, and movies that were recommended, and I appreciate all of them. A lot of folks recommended War of the Worlds as the book. There were a couple folks that recommended some C.S. Lewis. I got some Sherlock Holmes. Surprisingly, I think there was only 1 person that recommended The Hobbit. There were a lot of really, really good books, great VRs, fantastic VRs. And one of the VRs that stood out to me most was Smarty Bob's, because Bob had just lost his dog, and I'm sorry, Bob, if I'm bringing up bad memories, but all of his books were dog related, and he knows how much my dogs mean to me, and that had to be pretty hard for him to record so close to the losing of his beloved pet. So Armchair Piper had a wonderful video on Sherlock Holmes, and and the rest of your videos were all fantastic as well. Those are the 2 that really stuck out to me in my head. So I have cut down. This is how I did. Let me explain to you how I did the giveaway. Every time I saw an entry and I commented on it, I wrote it down. If you got 2 entries, I wrote you down twice. If you got 3 entries for doing a VR, I wrote you down 3 times. If you got 1 entry because you get recommended something but didn't follow or whatever, I wrote you down once. Wrote it down in a notebook, and then I cut all of those out and I put them in Brad's bag. So there are 140 some, I want to say it's 145, but it could be more, it could be a little bit less, entries in this bag. And I'm going to reach in. There are 2 folks that entered that said if they do win, they would like me to redraw. So I did enter them, and they are in here. So we have, I accidentally grabbed 2 there, so let's just grab 1. And there we go. It is the Occasional Clay Piper. Let me see if I can get that. And you're going to see my horrible handwriting. The Occasional Clay Piper. So congratulations. He had wonderful suggestions, great movie suggestions as well. And I will reach out to you in a comment section, but what I need you to do is send me an email. My email is bradthebeardedpiper@gmail.com. There's a link for it down below in the description. Send me an email. I need to know your real name and your address so I can send it out to you. I don't think they like the post office to see YouTube names, and they want the real name on it. So send me your real name and your address and I will get it out to you. Congratulations, you're really going to enjoy this pipe. Brian makes a fantastic fantastic pipe. They're just amazing. I only have one, but there will be more in my collection sometime here in the future. So that's it, my friends. Again, happy Groundhog Day. Sorry it took so long to get to the drawing, but I really do like Groundhog Day. It is really one of my favorite days of the year, and I know it's a silly holiday, and I know the whole tradition's silly, and I know in 2023 it's even sillier, but you know what, it's just something that I don't know, it's just something that is fun for me and something that I really enjoy. So remember, my friends, it's better to pack that pipe light than it is to pack that pipe tight.